I saw you living that. You had a big white sunga on. You had a tiger on a chain, looking like king of the world right there.
I'm gonna pull it up.
My crazy life when I was a kid.
Right there.
Boom.
Man, my God.
Totally.
Look at that, bro.
Man, sunga life.
That's it.
That's the ultimate Sunga life.
That is
right
ultimate
there.
Sunga. Right there.
What am I doing with my life?
All right, Mike.
So we on?
We're on, brother.
All right, I'm Mike Tyson. This is Hotboxin, and I'm here with Evan Breton.
Hey, everybody.
Two distinguished guests here.
We got a couple of great guests. We've got former Navy SEAL Jeff Gum. Awesome dude.
Thanks
Jeff,
for having me, guys.
great
really
to have
appreciate
you.
it. It's an honor.
Jeff.
And then we've got the man, Kyle Maynard. Huge inspiration. I remember seeing this guy on ESPN probably 10 years ago. And just what an incredible story, man. It's awesome to have you guys
Thanks,
here.
man. This is a pretty surreal moment for us both to be here with you guys. So
Thank you.
Yeah, you were my hero growing up.
Thank you, brother. Where are you
Bruce
from?
Lee and grew up in Georgia.
Yeah.
So I've been out in California for 5 years now.
You like it out here?
Yeah, I do. But I've kind of been, I don't know, just on a journey lately. Got rid of most of my stuff, and I've just been going around.
Tell me about that. You know, sometimes I go through that. I think I have too much. You know, I don't deserve this. Maybe that's my weird way of thinking or something. Tell me about that. That you just struck a nerve. You're giving it
for sure.
Yeah.
No, I just made a conscious choice to basically the only thing I put value in is this frog necklace that I'm wearing is kind of the main thing. I have a Bible that my grandparents gave me when I was a kid, and other than that, you know, there's a few other things that hold meaning to me, but it's not that I can't or won't allow myself to have possessions or whatever, property. I mean, like the ranch that you guys are building is amazing, is phenomenal. And that's so cool, and it'd be a dream to do that someday.
It's not for us,
exactly.
It's for the world.
You know? So that's kind of my thing is I don't have any desires for stuff that I want for myself. I just have desires I want to go and do for the world and live life and build dreams with my friends and my, best friend, Navy SEALs. We got a swimwear company together. It's just such a surreal experience of the life lately.
That's so awesome, man. I mean, I think that's when you really whittled life down to what's most important, it's not about all the bullshit and the things and the material. It's about what you can bring to the world, you know, and the contributions you can make to your fellow man. And you guys have been on some fucking incredible adventures together. And you've hiked Mount Everest, dude.
Not Everest.
Whoa.
Not Everest?
But
Kilimanjaro.
And,
Talk about that.
Aconcagua. Yeah.
Kilimanjaro's enough. Tell me about that.
Yeah.
What was that about?
It was a good dose.
What did you see climbing? Did you see animals up there? Did you see
We
birds?
did when we saw the safari, but you start off in the rainforest and you go through every natural climate zone and ecosystem while you're there. So you start off in the rainforest and then 10 days later you're on tundra, and I bear crawled it. So I had bath towels. When I first started hiking, I didn't do Kilimanjaro in bath towels.
What did you see? What did you see?
Man, I saw the biggest trail of ants I've ever seen in my life. I saw beautiful landscape, wide open plains, and being on the glacier and the snows in Kilimanjaro was so beautiful. It was because the glacier is receding, right? As the earth is warming, then the glacier is receding, and so it's going to be unclimbable at some point, or not unclimbable, but it'll be a lot less accessible because the glacier is the main water source. So the hardest, probably the second or third hardest physical day of my life was going up what's called the Western Breach, and that was just one 12-hour brutal day, climbing about 2,500 vertical feet of elevation gain to go in and sleep inside of the crater rim. And the trade-off was, if we made it on that one day going up through that, we couldn't turn back. So once we set off, we had to keep going, but we would cut off 5 days of the total trip time. And since I was bear crawling, my arms and my feet were so swollen and jacked up. I was in so much pain. I was becoming angry at the fact that my buddies were having fun, and I was envious of that. And I'm like, I'm not having very much fucking fun at all right now. And, but I knew that if we could take that Western Breach route, I could suffer through anything for one day. But I knew that an additional 5 days to go around to the east side of the mountain and then up to the summit might be the death of me. So I just did it in that one day and bit down as hard as I could, and we didn't have ropes and started ice climbing, or, it's not straight ice climbing, but we're hiking up this ice field in the middle of the night, slipped on the ice at probably 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, scared out of my mind, but made it up and slept in the crater rim. And then that next morning we just had 900 feet to go for that last summit push. And it was almost kind of a victory lap at that point. When
did you, by any chance, partake in the toad? When was your first time?
So the frog itself, this frog has showed up for me in different things. I have not yet gone to the toad in the way that you have. I've done several ayahuasca ceremonies now. I've had some powerful psilocybin experiences that have changed my life and given me an entire new perspective. And I've been waiting for the right moment to go there. I do believe, man, that like there's more to this physical realm that we're in.
Absolutely. We weren't given the right information.
Yeah.
We're told about Columbus and all these creepy guys and stuff. We're not given the right information.
It's true, man.
We're given all the wrong information about who we really are, who we really come from and stuff,
So true, man.
And I think people got to find it for themselves.
They tell us, they told us one time that we were only 5,000 years old. For a long time, we were believing that we were only 5. Then we found cities underneath other cities that are 9,000 years old. We can't explain that.
Yeah.
We can't. What happened to the other 4,000 years?
That Göbekli Tepe, have you seen that?
Yeah.
The site in Turkey. It's maybe 20,000 years old or something like that. People building these massive, in the pyramids and the,
we don't know nothing.
We don't know anything.
They have pyramids in Bosnia that's older than the pyramids in Giza. In Bosnia, they're older than the ones that the Sphinx and stuff are in Bosnia. We don't know who we are. We don't know nothing.
We don't know
We're
shit.
Idiots.
Yeah, and at the same time, I kind of almost at this point, for anyone that claims to know, I wonder what experiences they've been through, and unless they've if you've had some deep experiences with plant medicine, and you want to talk to me about what is, I'll listen. But without that, I'm not interested anymore in hearing your scientific materialist reductionist view of the world.
No, it was wrong. All that stuff was wrong, man.
I feel like these guys miss the big picture of what this is really all about.
In China, they found 9-foot Caucasians.
Yeah. The giants.
Yeah.
The
China.
Nephilim.
I don't know what but that's what they found.
You kind of look like a giant to me, man.
They had tattoos.
So does he.
They had tattoos and everything on their face of scorpions and stuff. Blonde hair, blue eyes.
Wow.
They made it with the Chinese. The Chinese was even taller, and the women were 7 feet.
Yeah. These are...
We don't know where they came from.
Yeah. Some people refer to those creatures as the Nephilim.
Yeah.
They were angels. Angels came down and breeded with the humans, and they created these Nephilim, these giants that would terrorize the humans.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and they're... I mean, if you dig on the internet, you'll find weird research articles or papers on finding these skeletons.
Even that's weird, but where these people come from?
I know.
We don't have no answers. Where the fuck this monster come from?
Where the fuck did this thing come from?
With blonde hair and blue eyes. Where did he come from? I never saw no guy that big that looked like that.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that plant medicine, man, and the knowledge and the information that gives you access to. Have you read a book called The Cosmic Serpent?
No.
It's a great read.
Medicine. I've done the plant medicine, and the plant medicine was fun compared to the toad. The toad takes you right there. It doesn't play with you at all. It takes you right there. What you got, what you made out of. Boom!
Yeah.
you die right there. You die. Say, I'm dead. Holy shit, I'm dying.
I heard you say when you were on Joe Rogan's podcast that you wanted to keep going back to it.
Yeah, I kept because I didn't understand what was going on. I just died. I never experienced that in my life.
But I mean, most people do that one time and they go away. And I was like, only Mike Tyson would have that mentality to just go back to it. Like, I just died, but I want to go do it again, man.
No, because it took me someplace that I didn't even know existed.
I gotta tell you, even better, Kyle. Mike finishes his second trip. It was like a fucking storm, man. Like lights were flickering. It was like there was an exorcism happening. And after Mike's second trip, I went in there. It was like 30 minutes after he went in. And I look at him. in the room. The room's totally dark. I see Mike sitting at the back on the couch, totally chill with a joint burning in his hand. And he just looks at me. I'm like, Mike, how are you? He's like, they won't let me do a third. He wanted to go again. But
right,
they said,
right then, like back to back.
He wanted to go.
Wow.
He wanted to go number 3.
What did Cuss say? Heroes and cowards feel the same fear,
Yeah,
but heroes just
it's what
respond
they
to it
do.
differently.
Yeah, what you do that makes you the hero, and what you don't do that makes you the coward.
Absolutely.
The will to act.
Shit, man. It was just I wanted to hang out there for a while.
Get a grasp of it. Understand it.
Wow.
Well-
You weren't afraid of dying then. You know what I mean? You know, all my life I've been afraid of dying and stuff, and say, oh, I'm gonna miss out on all this young pussy. I'm gonna miss out on this money. I'm gonna miss out on watching my dying is just as glorious as living, because you know what I mean. You couldn't have life without death.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you guys meditate?
Life is better when I do.
Yeah.
You know, it goes more smoothly, and I try to just bring it to my life. You know, and just, I don't know, I think what I try to do instead of meditation is I try to listen.
Be in the moment.
I try to listen, and I listen for things that other people might not listen for. And in terms of even today, you know, in meeting some of your crew in the Standing United, you know, I know here that, I mean, this is, such an amazing honor to be here with you guys. I think that the highest truth for us and the reason why we're here was really to meet them.
Amazing, dude. You diagnosed that already. But you know,
I mean, I kind of at the same
it's
time.
very cosmic that you're here, man. Of course, your spirit animal is the frog. You know why? What else would it be coming in here?
Right.
You know. What? I had the Jags by 2 last week. I need my goddamn money, dudes. That sounds like your problem, man. I don't care. Go rob a bank. Can I put some money down and win like a man? What's the matter with you?
Yeah, man, if I was you, I wouldn't even listen to that motherfucker, man. Go online right now. On my bookie online.
Fuck it.
Yeah, tell him, fuck him.
I'm gonna use my bookie online.
You don't gotta take that bullshit from them.
Hell no. That's right, my bookie online. You play, you win, they pay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Done.
All day, every day.
Let's do it.
My bookie online.
Boom. MyBookie Online has better bonuses and more prop bets than any other sportsbook, period. Sign up for a chance to receive a $1,000 bonus at MyBookie Online today. That's MyBookie, MyBookie. And don't forget to use the promo code HOTBOXIN to activate the offer. Jeff, man. Dude. You're a Navy SEAL.
The toad's gonna take you to that level, man. Gonna take you to that other dimension, that other chamber of life. It's gonna be a psychological trip. It's gonna be really happening. It's nothing about your body. It's gonna be your mind. Shit is gonna really happen. You'll be like, whoa.
It's really crazy too. He was on a vision quest in it was Thailand, right?
No, in California. It was just a sober shamanic. My first exposure to shamanism.
And he ended up on the back of a frog that like brought him through the river.
Wow.
Yeah, it said that it was just this visualization that said you're going to discover your spirit guide in this, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, this is kind of interesting, whatever. And 10 minutes, nothing happens. It was just drumming, totally sober. And then all of a sudden, I was holding hands with this girl and looked over this hole, and I got sucked inside of this hole, traveled through it, and I got shot into this river. And all of a sudden, I was drowning, and I lost the girl. And I was drowning. I'm like, wow, this is crazy visual for not, being sober. And then all of a sudden I feel a cement block underneath me, almost like your cement floor outside here. And it raises me up, and I'm right on the back of a frog. And then I put it together. He's got a tattoo of the bone frog, which is...
it's a memorial for fallen seals.
Yeah.
Because we're frogmen.
Frogmen.
Yeah.
How long can you hold your breath at your best?
Longest I did was 308.
Yeah.
When I was in buds. It's the only time I really, was underwater and was testing that. Usually
3 minutes, 8 seconds.
You know, 3 minutes is a round of boxing. You know how much damage you could do in 3 minutes? Imagine that.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Jeff, have you experienced any plant medicines yourself?
Psilocybin.
Psilocybin.
Yeah, really. I've had an amazing life, like a lot of incredible blessings, but I've also, I lost my little brother when I was 8. I mean, I lost my father when I was 8. I lost my little brother when he was 23, would have been, I think, 6 years ago. Lost my stepfather recently. Lost my boss. And then I ended up like doing CPR on him for like 30 minutes. So I've had a lot of loss in my life, and it's really kind of helped me deal with that, and kind of brought me to a better place.
The psilocybin helped you get through that, or at least take something away from that.
Yeah, and just learn more about myself.
No doubt that these medicines will show you that for sure. Man, I got to tell you guys, I meditate every day, and I've died 1,000 deaths, man. And life has become this constant process of letting go.
Shedding.
Anytime that you think that you're identifying with something, it's like time to fucking let it go. Because we're not that,
Yep.
We're something so much more profound. We're everything. We are part of this whole thing. We're all in this together. We're all one. And I mean, I don't know, once you sort of come to that realization, life gets in this fucking material plane that we're on, life starts to get pretty fucking weird. I mean, I'm also an empath. Yeah. Like, I feel everything that people feel. I feel it in my body, and sometimes it's extremely overwhelming. But it's my gift. It's one of my gifts. It's my blessing, in this life. And so anything that I can do to make this world a better place, like, that's what I'm here to do.
It's so cool that you get that. I mean, both of you embody, really, I guess it could include all four of us in this realm. And I don't know you guys quite as well, too, the camera crew. But
these guys are cool.
These guys seem pretty cool, too. I mean, but, the attitude and mindset around masculinity is one that is so misunderstood, because you can be ferocious, but you can learn to be at peace.
It's all about peace and love when it comes down to the situation. It all comes to peace and love. My whole life I was taught it was about ferocity, viciousness, fear, inflicting and stuff. And all my life I found that was a lie. And I found out it was all about being humble and, subservient and giving to people and loving people and forgiving people for mistakes and shit. And coming to grips with that is just overwhelming, Sometimes I cry a lot because I've been living a life that was wrong all these years.
And now, I mean, I think you can show so many younger kids that are going through that same thing.
I hope so.
Maybe they don't have to go through the same.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a big part of what drives me. I tried, at 10 years old, I tried to hang myself. And
no, listen, brother, I came here to talk to you about that because of my, my psychology as a young kid, the way I was brought up, I think about doing that to myself in line. All I do is think about hurting people. Do you think, I'm not a tough guy, but that's all I've been thought of doing. I'm torn sometimes.
Yeah.
I want to kill myself too. Everything I did wrong gave me riches and wealth and everything that everybody else wanted. But I just wanted to be like everybody else. That makes sense?
It does.
Oh,
but you kind of became
sometimes it doesn't make sense to
the
me.
Best of everybody else, but it still wasn't enough.
Yeah. Because I didn't have no love, that's why. It's all fear motivated, insecure motivated and stuff. I still have a lot of emotions I haven't come to grips with and stuff because of that,
Yeah.
And you think it was your family that kind of helped bring that all to light? Your family and plant medicine?
Yeah, pretty much. Things I've said to people and I want to do to their family. Fuck your mother, your wife. What the fuck am I doing? This is for competition. This stuff we're getting wealthy. This should be fun. Why is my mind thinking these things? Because I never really understood the concept of love, and everybody else's feelings were insignificant. Because if their feelings were significant, I probably wouldn't hit them as hard. I want to hit them as hard. So I had to devalue their feelings.
I remember when you were tired, you said it was because I'm a father now. I want to love my children. I don't want to just train and be a fighter.
Exactly, an animal.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild, Mike. I met you the night that you fought Kevin McBride.
Really?
Yep.
I remember, listen, you came up to the board where I was at.
Yeah.
You came up there.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
How amazing is that?
Yeah, that's awesome. What were you doing there? Washington, D.C.
I was with a guy who's kind of helping me out, helping get my story out there initially, and we parted ways, but he was really instrumental in helping me in those early days. And he was the type, he would just navigate through anything to go and get there. I would be more reserved and laid back, but he knew that you were my hero. I got to meet Ali that night too.
Yeah.
And I remember when we made eye contact, just the whole, because Layla fought that night too. It was just the whole freaking room, just the world stopped for a minute. And, when I got to meet you, it just stayed with me. Because I thought, this is a guy who just sat down in the 7th, knew that this was it, and you were the kindest athlete I'd ever interacted with. And I thought the perception that the world has of this guy is so wrong. And I mean, in a way, though, I get that with me, that the body that I was born into in this life was, it was a different one, and one that, I didn't understand in the early goings. But now there's nothing you could give me in the world to make me go back and do it again. But a lot of people misunderstood me too, because I wanted to be that warrior. Football was my first sport that I played. I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. I wanted to be Mike Tyson and Dan Gable and, all these warriors and Randy Couture. And now it's, in my own way, I've gotten to become that and be here with you. And now I'm at peace.
That's awesome. I always had that conception, too, of being a warrior, being around Customato and him introducing me, and the concept of reading about Genghis Khan and Alexander the Great and all that stuff. And all those concepts of which I've had a consumption of, in order to all those things that we battle for, like, we warriors, we battle for honor and stuff. But at that time, you never know because they don't teach you that you're born with honor. You don't have to fight, or you can't. You
take it away.
Yeah, you can't win on it. You can only lose it because you're born with it.
That's so powerful, man.
But we get to show people, give me a different way. That's what I love. I love second chances. I love comeback stories for people. I love people that recreate themselves too. One of my heroes is Maynard James Keenan, from Tool. I mean, the guy just said, "Fuck it, like I'm not doing music anymore. I'm just gonna go and make wine." What? Just because he had the courage to go and to do that, man. It's
How's he doing with that?
I don't know. I haven't ever.
I think he's doing well.
I think he's doing pretty well. Yeah.
I think he's doing well. It's awesome, man.
But I mean, he's doing it though. He's walking that path in the same way that you guys are too. You expose yourself to criticism. What was the quote that you shared with me that he said last night? It was. Let
me see. If you're a friend to everyone, you're an enemy to yourself.
Oh, that's
I just
damn
saw
sure
you
true.
say that. Like,
yes, that's Mike. Dude, it's so true, man. Because
no
then you're just sacrificing
everyone's not gonna
yourself.
like you. Everyone's not gonna like you, and everybody that says they like you don't really like you. So how can you be friends with everybody? You have to come to reality. I don't like that guy for doing this. He's abusive to other people. I don't like him. You know what I mean? And so how can you say I like everybody and this guy is doing something that's really unworthy of human conception?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure, man. And I think everybody is just interested in or in love with the image of who they think you are. You know? I mean, very few people know who you really are. You know, every one of your relationships in your life, you wear a mask of that relationship.
The mask of sanity, you know? A lot of us are really fucking nuts. You know, we're not from a normal perspective, you know? You got to see these guys in Navy SEALs and stuff.
Yeah.
They seen people die. They may be participated in people dying. They don't think nothing normal than the normal guy that's out here that's working and getting a job and just have a family. They don't think like that.
Experiences may vary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true.
We deal with a world with so many different entities and stuff.
But I do believe it's you know, people, so much of it is just go on your journey. You know, that's what I'm learning right now, is to give up who I thought that I was for who I am. And to find that, to go inward more, you know, than now. And really, I just spent, you know, the spectrum of friends that I have, I love, and they couldn't be further from each other. One of my best friends was born with HIV, and she lived a rough, you know, kind of early going. Mom died at 4, and Lexi Gibson is her name. I just spent the last 4 days with her, and she's amazing. You know, she was basically orphaned at 13, grew up in Oakland, only white girl going to school, you know, at an all-black school, and it was just she had a program, though, that taught her about the hero's journey, Joseph Campbell's teachings, and taught her about a lot of Toltec wisdom from books by Don Miguel Ruiz and the 4 Agreements, Mastery of Love, the 5th Agreement, who's Don Miguel Ruiz is a huge hero of mine too.
Awesome.
But they basically that saved her and gave her a chance to come back, and she's, you know, now, you know, she's working as a dancer right now, and she's funded a nonprofit for a year that helps kids with HIV in Africa.
Wow, that's so awesome.
And you know what? It's like her heart, though. What she's taught me is to love thyself, and then you can love the world. And you know, in a way, it's like I am that, and I'm also, you know, Jeff, and you know, Jeff and one of our other best friends, my brother Mitch Aguiar, Jeff and Mitch they're basically like my Tyler Durden essence. Like they are Tyler Durden from Fight Club. You know, they dress like you want to dress, they fight like you want to fight, fuck like you want to fuck. I mean, it's, you know, but to me, it's, you know, it's both. It's the duality of, you know, it doesn't have to be one or the other. It doesn't have to be so serious. We can have a good time, but, you know, just be honest with yourself, be honest with other people, tell the truth. The more you tell the truth and you refuse to really bend who you are for that truth, then watch your life change. Watch things around you go and manifest. Keep your word, though.
Absolutely.
I remember when we were in I used to go to my AA meetings and stuff. Our hardest addiction, more than any consumption of drugs, alcohol, it was being truthful to ourselves. You know, nobody lies more than the drunk, the addict. You know what I mean? He tells the truth by accident.
It's true, man.
Or clock that's wrong tells the truth twice a
Yeah.
day.
I had something to say, but man, I mean, this is like so fucking awesome. I forgot about it. So how did you come to the plant medicines, Kyle? Like when did that sort of journey spark? I mean, for me,
I don't get enough of it. If I had research to, you know, as access to it, I would do it every day. I just don't have enough resource to it. I would do it every
I think
day.
that you actually, what I'm learning is, and we talked a little bit about this outside, but I think that what they do is that they alter our consciousness to the state where we can achieve those, you know, even with marijuana or whatever, it can elevate your consciousness, I believe. It can elevate, your vibration and who and what you are. We are electricity. We're energy. I mean, I know that's so esoteric. It's so out there, and I know all the physicists in the world are rolling their eyes, but I don't really care anymore.
It's true, man.
It's the ancient yogis. They knew this thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
Jesus knew this. That's why I was able to go and help heal people. I mean, that's we can.
Right. Listen, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but they found them in a mummy, like a 4,000-year-old mummy. They found cocaine in his hair.
Yeah.
They don't make cocaine in Egypt, so they did it probably in the ancient time. It was an ancient strain there that they had tobacco too, and they don't make tobacco in Egypt. But they had tobacco in his hair, and they had cocaine in his hair.
Wow.
He's 2,000 years old.
We know nothing, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. And then other people that I don't know if you guys know about.
He's the cocaine dummy. If you wanted to look it up, the cocaine dummy.
Do you know about Dr. Sebi?
Yeah.
Yes.
He discovered the Vicks for AIDS and stuff.
Yeah. Well, he used fasting.
Yeah.
Fasting is another thing that's brought me to a new level.
I'm
fasting's amazing.
now.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm gonna eat.
I'm in a fast too.
Nothing but fruit.
I fast every day.
You have to fast. Just purify yourself.
Well, I'm talking extensive fast. Dr.
Yeah.
Sebi was having people fast for 40. He had Lisa Left Eye Lopez. She was fasted for 42 days.
Listen, I'm a Muslim. We do it for 30 days every year.
Wow.
What do you do?
But you can eat at night though with Ramadan.
Yeah.
I'm talking
straight fasting.
Straight fasting, just alkaline water.
Well, I don't
or
think
whatever,
I think that's
greens.
too. I think that's too extreme. If you can eat some greens, then that's not too extreme.
That's what
as long as you get some greens in.
Shout out to the Smashing Greens. Our buddy Mitch started that. That's what got me going. Is Mitch would cut
that's all
weight.
I eat with greens. With all these greens.
I'm down 25 pounds right now in 2 months.
Wow.
And it's amazing, man. I feel phenomenal. The last month of my life in March was the most spiritual month of my life, and the fasting brought me closer to it. It really is.
Fasting is a high.
Fasting's amazing.
Yeah, because it focuses your mind.
Yeah,
we're hunters. We grew up on the plains of Africa,
Well, you get this when you
wired for
fast, your brain releases this stuff, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which starts creating all these new pathways in your brain and healing your brain and soaking up all the toxins and destroying all the scar tissue and chemicals.
I'm sorry to interfere, but I don't think that we were originated in Africa.
You don't think so?
Interesting.
The older cities, they got cities that are older than Africa, under Turkey and under Bosnia and these countries.
I'm talking way back on the plains when we were hunter-gatherers.
Yeah, I could believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's our history though. That's our roots.
That's what we identified with. Yeah, but we're more than that even.
I agree. But I do think that that's where we were born.
Have you guys heard of the Emerald Tablets?
No, tell us about it.
The Emerald Tablets are, it's writings from Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom. And the story is that he was a priest in Atlantis who was granted access to the other dimensions, where reincarnation happens. And when Atlantis was flooded, he flew to Egypt and built the pyramids. And underneath, he created this thing called the Halls of Amenti, which is where you can go and reincarnate and come back. And he reincarnated, they say, as this guy Hermes Trismegistus, yes, and founded the Hermetic philosophy. And the Emerald Tablets are these actual physical tablets they have found that are 30,000 plus years old. And he wrote this, and when you read these things, you can go buy it on Amazon. You can buy a book, and it's basically an epic poem which talks about life and what this thing is that we find ourselves in.
Yeah.
And it's some fascinating shit, man. And like you were saying, Mike, I mean, we used to think we're 5,000 years old, Like, there's so much more to this.
My wife is even going to the extreme and think that aliens were involved with our production.
I mean...
we can't conceive of these people. How do they move the pyramids? I just left Egypt. How they do this stuff? For real, I never saw how big they were. I never saw how big the stones were.
Well, think about what we would do.
The stones are so far away from where the pyramids are built.
If we showed up to another planet, we would totally, if we saw a primate or something like that, we'd be like, okay, let's go and stick a little RDNA in there and see what happens.
Yeah.
Help you build some
plug
stuff.
it in. That's what they did.
I don't know.
Why not?
You know what? I think you mentioned Islam too, and the thing that I've learned from that mostly, and I try to be indiscriminate in all the spiritual teachers that I learned from, but Muhammad never stopped seeking.
No, he never stopped seeking knowledge.
Never stopped seeking knowledge because he never thought that he had all the answers. And it's...
No one does. How do you have this? Is very scary. And you know, places in Russia and Ukraine too. 'Cause I looked at, they find warrior Amazon queens.
Yeah.
Woman, she had all her jewelry, had all her weapons, and she was like this. And at the bottom of her feet was a slave, a man, in fetal position. She was on his back. It was crazy. And her horse was there too. She had a horse. They buried her with her horse.
It was all mummified?
Huh?
It was mummified?
Yes.
Wow.
Crazy. No, it was her bones.
Oh,
Sorry,
bones, okay.
Bones.
In a tomb or something.
Yeah, there's another city underneath, ancient city underneath the country.
Well, Mike,
In
talk
Ukraine.
about how you saw the Aztec temples in your Toad
Yeah, that's what I
experience.
saw. I saw the Aztec temple. I saw those hieroglyphics in there and stuff. I saw that.
Wow.
I saw like the pineal gland, the shell of the man. It's just like a shell of the man, the gland.
Third eye.
Yeah, the third eye. That's what it was. When I went to Tony Robbins' house, I forgot that I saw it there.
Yeah.
I said, that's what I saw when I took,
He has a
explained
picture
to
in
him.
his...
Yeah, in his basement.
Really?
Tony's had a ride with the Toad.
He's a good man,
Wow.
too.
I
He's a
love
good
Tony, man.
Tony was one of my early heroes, and
He's an
I
awesome
actually,
guy.
I feel bad because I judged him for a while. Some of the things I would see, and sometimes I would see other motivational speakers and stuff like that. And I don't know, I'm like the speaker who doesn't really vibe with most motivational speakers.
You're the anti-speaker speaker.
But hearing that from you is pretty amazing. I trust both of you.
Because he
Absolutely.
really believes in what he's doing. You know what I mean? You look at some guys, they look at it from a financial
business thing.
perspective. This is a business.
I'm a brand.
Yeah.
I'm a personality. Yeah. I
That
know. I vibe. I definitely, that resonates with me a lot, Kyle.
I look at things and you say things that he does for people is not going to help his brand, but his brand is going to help these people.
Yes.
It's just that way. He's at that stage where not really many. If he did anybody, they're not going to help his brand. His brand is what it's going to be.
Right.
If you hated on it, you didn't like it, or you loved it, it's going to be what it's going to be. And he uses it to help people.
It was more, a matter of, I went and sought out and studied under his original teachers, the founders of neurolinguistic programming, and became hold this certificate of a master practitioner of NLP. That was kind of what started my early journey. I was at an NLP thing when I had that frog vision, and I like loyalty and respect, and the fact that in martial arts, in the martial arts tradition, you have a lineage that you come from. And in philosophy, you have a lineage that you come from. In spirituality, you talk about the lineage that you come from, and you give respect and honor those teachers that came before you, because you do stand on the shoulders of literal giants, and that we would not be who we are without that, and that the speaking world in general is sometimes absent of that. They don't talk about and give the complete respect to the teachers that they've had. Now, I'm not saying that about anyone in particular.
Well, it's the ego.
But it's just like that's what people think, that they came up with all of this. No, we have been evolving this for a really long time. The best we can do is take it a little bit further.
Yes. You've just been granted access to it.
And it's a privilege.
Yes.
It's funny, too, a lot of the stuff he talks about with NLP is actually real similar to things we do in the SEAL teams and the intelligence community.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about that? Because I know the SEALs, you're tapped into this type of shit.
What kind of food did the SEALs eat?
We
Beer and fried chicken.
we eat everything pretty much, but
I'm talking about when your guys are on top of your game, you're ready to be on your best to do something, to accomplish something. What do you eat?
Well, sometimes you only get MREs or like quick stuff because you're living out of your bag, or you're living out on a forward operating base, and you might not even have cooks. So sometimes you don't. It can be hard. Other times if you're in a more established area, then they'll bring in that will actually have locals bring in like chickens and food and be eating more fresh.
How heavy is your backpack?
It all depends on the mission we're doing. There's times the backpack can be 120, 150 pounds of gear when you're going up huge mountains.
Plus a machine gun.
Plus you're carrying, if you're like a new guy and you're carrying the automatic weapon, it can be 30, 35 pounds, and then another 30 pounds of ammo, body armor. It can be insane.
You get a lot of gear.
Yeah. And you're just hoping for a chance to shoot your gun so you can lighten all the ammo.
He won't brag on
Holy
himself,
shit.
but he's one of the most mentally tough human beings to ever exist. And
That's why I'm getting ready to ask some other stuff too. Tell me,
Nice.
Hell Week
how long
journey.
do they keep you underwater, man?
I mean, it's usually like tasks that you're given. So you have to swim.
But you're doing the task and they're in your fucking face, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like, all right, you go down and you're supposed to tie a knot underwater. This is when you're just going through the training. And then you tie, they're like, all right, how many knots can you do at once? I'm like, well, I was planning to just do one because I want to make sure I pass one, go down, do the next one. But they're like, all right, do 3. I'm like, all right, I go down, I do all 3 knots, like get the okay for each one. And then I like request to go up, is in like 15 feet down. And then he starts giving me the sign to do rock, paper, scissors. So now I got beat him in rock, paper, scissors while I'm down there, and then then go up, like get a couple breaths. He's like, all right, let's go back down, and then had to go down, tie the next couple.
Do you run into people who you feel have something on their shoulder chip and they have it on out for you?
Oh yeah, there was because I had like everything go wrong. I like Friday before Hell Week. I had passed like 6 weeks into training. I had passed everything. Then Hell Week's about to start on Sunday, where you get an hour and a half nap on Wednesday, hour and a half nap on Thursday, and you finish up on Friday. And you run about 50 miles with a boat on your head. You lunge for miles with 200-pound telephone poles. And so Friday before this training starts, I get viral gastroenteritis, and I can't even drink water without throwing up, just nonstop. And
That's what you need.
Yeah. So they just put like IVs in me. Finally I'm able to get some fluids that way. And then was able to start getting a little bit of food down like Saturday night, started Hell Week on Sunday. But then from being so dehydrated, then going into Hell Week, it led to me getting rhabdomyolysis, where my muscles broke down so much that my blood became toxic. It typically only happens to people that get crushed
protein in your urine.
Yeah, typically only if you get crushed in a car accident or earthquake. And
I had that one year in training camp.
Damn.
Yeah, I was hospitalized multiple times for dehydration.
From rhabdo?
Yeah. Once for rhabdo. They diagnosed it as rhabdo, but it was bad, dude. Full body cramps in the fucking parking lot.
Listen, after accomplishing all those details and your training methods and stuff, you must feel like a fucking warrior god, huh?
Yeah.
It was...
Imagine enduring all that. Yeah!
I know, dude.
A pass, motherfucker. Anybody else dying?
Yeah.
Giving up.
You're a bad motherfucker, dude.
They ended up pulling me out and performance dropping me on an hour from Wednesday. I was the last person to not make it through that class. But I basically refused to accept it and called up SEALs I knew who had mentored me, and they called in and vouched on my behalf, and I went to the leadership, like the leader instructors, and just like begged for another chance and told them, I'm like, hey, I never failed anything. And I got extremely sick before Hell Week. You can talk to medical. I got another chance, started all the way over again. And then instead of passing everything like I did the first time before Hell Week, I now failed everything because I still had rhabdo and we didn't know what it was. So now it's like affecting me more mentally because my body's not working, and I knew I was strong, but...
Didn't you say it was being stabbed in your legs with knives when you're running?
Yeah, so... We're running everywhere you go. You have a boat on your head, and it's when like football players get cramps on the field and they get like carried off, and I'm having cramps in my hamstrings and and my quads at the same time, and I'm just doing everything I can to stay under this boat. And I think doing everything I can to stay under the boat is what led to me getting rhabdo.
Yeah.
And then once I got like rhabdo, then I couldn't even go as fast as the guys that had the boat on their head. And normally it had never been diagnosed before because everyone quits when they get it. But I knew who I was. I knew I was strong. Like here I knew I was just sick, and got dropped. Talked my way back in, started again, and then failed everything again. But then I ended up going to medical, and that's when they drew my blood, and my blood came back toxic. So then I started all the way over again. And then, but now I was used to doing everything with my body failing, and now I was healthy. So it was just, now I'm just laughing and enjoying it and having fun with my friends. We're working out on the beach. I'm like, going around. It's like an adventure with my friends. And I knew I had already completed all these tasks because I wasn't like great at the water. I trained a lot in the water, but but after doing this training so many times, I'm like, just another day doing it again. And finally had fun with it and was making jokes in Hell Week. And I'm like, wow, Hell Week's a lot harder when you don't have rhabdo.
What's the furthest you ever ran?
Furthest, when I had made it through Buds, we were out in a desert, in the Mojave Desert. It was like 140 degrees during the day.
Fuck.
Like, I think 130 air temperature, 140 surface temperature. And so they had us, there's like an 18-mile ruck run you got to do. And I think it's a 3-hour time limit.
How much weight you got on?
It's like 70 pounds.
Fuck.
But they do it at nighttime because it's only 100 degrees at nighttime.
Yeah.
But I stepped in a hole with 7 miles left and like destroyed my ankle, level 3 sprain. Fuck. And I just feel everything just rip. And I'm just like waiting. I'm like waiting for a medic, and it's like taking too long. And I kind of had that Buds mentality where if I stopped, I was quitting. And I just like tightened my boot and just start like dragging my foot behind me for the last 7 miles of the run. And then I think I had like 3 minutes left, and I was like a half mile out or something, and maybe a quarter mile. And I realized I wasn't going to make it, and I start like running and like swinging my body in all the craziest ways. I was like running like Forrest Gump, basically trying. And I didn't even stop for water anywhere once that happened because I didn't have time. I knew I was going so slow now. But I ended up making the time by like 15 seconds. And,
wow.
And then I couldn't walk for 3 days, and they were going to roll me. But I ended up getting a brace. I turned in my crutches for a machine gun, and then just started land warfare again, just limped my way through the rest of the next like 3 weeks.
Dude.
But it was like very, it's like these experiences like that were even, I can apply it to everything.
How about your missions? You been on a few missions?
Yeah, first deployment was to Iraq.
Yeah.
And going after IED makers and everything. It was 2010, 2011, so it wasn't, how did the Iraq war or anything, but, going after
but how do
bad
you
guys.
not go insane from the heat?
My living conditions, I'd say my room was about this size, like maybe 15 feet, and we had AC in there.
Yeah.
I was actually there. It was more during the winter, so it was like 7 months more winter time. It was definitely getting really hot, but the heat wasn't so bad for me.
Mike, it's just a different mindset, dude. Like you were saying. Like normal people would never fucking
go to a strange country where everybody know you're a fucking foreigner and they know you're there to look for somebody, and you have to do it. You still have to accomplish that goal.
Normal people would just fucking break down. You wouldn't even make it. But you train 3.5 years before you even go and do your first deployment as a SEAL, and you're so highly trained. It's like, how long do you practice with your team to, get a chance to go to the Super Bowl, once you're there? Or how many years did you train before you got your first heavyweight fight? You're not scared. You're excited to be there. I mean, it's all, you're jacked.
But and I knew I was there going after guys who were trying to kill good people, kill Americans, blow people up, and we wanted to go get them in the middle of the night. And
it's fucking badass.
How do you know where to get these motherfuckers? How do you know where they at? Right.
We definitely have very sophisticated intelligence network there. We talk to locals.
Do you speak Farsi or? No,
it was Arabic where I was at, but we use interpreters.
Okay.
And a lot of these people were, they grew up in Iraq, but they had been run out under Saddam, and then they came back as interpreters, and they had been there. They would be there 5-6 years, so they were very, they knew the people we were working with, who we were getting our intelligence from, and everything.
They were tapped in.
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein was fucking people up over there, his own people.
Gassed the Kurds.
Yeah.
Attacked Kuwait.
Just for fun,
the oil fields.
Fuck you up for fun, yeah.
Uday and Hussein. I stood right on his crumbled palace. Saddam's sons.
Yeah, those guys I heard was nuts too.
Yeah.
There's a philosopher, though, Sam Harris, brings up a really interesting point. If you grew up as Saddam Hussein's son, what chance do you have? It's really, we're such a product of our environment.
Absolutely.
So that's why we've got to change the environment. I disagree with Sam on the concept of free will. I believe that we have it, but I think we have to go in and shift the mentality, because kids that grew up, like you grew up, we grew up in very different families.
Yes.
And I would have been completely fucked had I not grown up with a family that I had comparatively.
Exactly.
I would have had no chance, because this would have been too much.
I think it's always a will is a way. You know what I mean?
This was already enough with an amazing family.
Right?
There's people giving up every day, though, right now. Suicide is a real thing that's a real issue, and it's crazy. With you opening up and saying that you felt that before too. There's so many people that are giving up hope and I think they give up hope because they think that this is all that there is. They also give up hope because they don't think that they can do anything about it, but they can.
It's about the world they're in, I know gentlemen that are in my neighborhoods that I come from, in the city. I know neighborhoods where people are in your situation. They live like gods. People will die for them. People will kill for them.
Wow.
It's just how they live their life, and it depends on the environment. It depends on how that makes you think about yourself.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe something happened to him, and he said, "Whoa, I need people to help me, so I can't fight these guys." And now he has an army. You know what I mean? I don't know, what did he do to get that army? How do they converse to these people, convince these people to protect them, put their life on the line for him? How do they do that when they see him in that situation? Not like they could help him, he could help them or do anything, but it's something that he has that makes them do it. That you just can't put your finger on it.
Well, when your best friends are Navy SEALs, it's a convenient bodyguard system.
No, but you know what I mean? No, these are not Navy SEAls, these are just cold blooded
No,
guys.
I know what you're saying.
Well,
People because I felt that with my friends.
Yeah.
That's the thing that people don't realize, how lucky I am. That's the other. I wish that people treated each other the way that they treat me.
So this is real what I'm talking about.
It's real. You're 100% right.
You see this guy, but you look at him, what the fuck he talking about?
You want to take care of him.
Then, some guys look at him, who the fuck he thinking? Then you see
behind
him,
behind him.
Oh, shit.
You see behind what's going on.
Oh, okay, cool.
Well, it's because of your spirit, man. It's your spirit and who you are.
Well, it's for each of us, though, right?
Yes. No, it is. But I'm saying, like what Mike is talking about.
Yeah.
You gather people because they believe in you and they love you.
Well, you guys, I love you guys.
Thank you, brother. We
love you,
love
man.
you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you guys have a pretty badass swimwear line, huh? And you brought Mike and I some Speedos.
Absolutely, we did. Yeah,
some
Sungas. Sungas are kind of
like in Australia. My friend was Speedos. Sometimes he'd be all the way, but he with his little Speedos on here.
Bro, we're gonna be out in Desert Hot Springs with the Sungas on.
Mike, I saw you living the Sunga life. Our brand is called Sunga Life, and I saw you living that. You had a big white Sunga on. And you had a tiger chain, looking like king of the world right there.
I'm gonna pull it up.
My crazy life when I was a kid.
Yeah, but tell us a little bit about that company that you guys have.
So I went down to Brazil. I'm real close with the Gracie family, and I saw everybody wearing these sungas down there. And And I was like, oh, wow, these are cool. And I'm talking to a Brazilian girl, and she's like, oh, I think they're so sexy on men. And I realized
That's
just
dope.
like,
Doing one, right? When she said that, you doing one.
I'm like,
Hell yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm buying 10 of them. And I realized it just like how guys look at girls wearing Brazilian bikinis. They think it's sexy. Bought a bunch of them, started wearing them all over the world. Croatia Yacht Week, Australia, Vegas.
Croatia's
just a
pretty
chick
awesome.
flight.
Croatia's amazing. And I didn't even have to go and like talk to girls anymore. I just like be walking around with my friends. Girls would come up, hey, how you doing? Those are cool. I'm like, all right. And then I was transitioning out of the SEAL teams, and I wanted to get into business. I did this. It's called the Honor Foundation. It helps SEALs transition to the private sector. And I realized I need to launch my own company right now. And I'm super passionate about the swimwear. I see a huge niche. It's all about freedom right there.
Boom.
Man, my God.
Totally.
damn.
Look at that, bro.
Man, Sunga life.
That's it.
That's the ultimate
19
Sunga life
That
right
is
there.
ultimate Sunga.
What am I doing with my life?
Oh my God, Mike.
You got it halfway right.
You're
You're just missing this other half.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely, man.
That's so
Because I bet you were
awesome.
having some pretty good times there too.
Man, listen. Some of my friends that have tigers, they like to throw the people in there with the tiger. The tiger attack the people and stuff.
Oh shit.
That's crazy.
That's
But it's kind of, we like to say too, if you're going to peacock, do it like a patriot. So it's all about representing like freedom at the same time. Like our swimwear is all about freedom and expressing yourself and not letting anything hold you back in life, even if that's a pair of board shorts, and because there's just so many benefits. You get way better tan lines. You can swim through the water really fast. You dry really fast.
Let's look at them. You have them up there? Put them up there.
Sunga? It's
Sunga
Sunga Life. SUNGA.com.
Yes.
so tigers are always your thing, Mike?
No, listen. I'm in prison one day, right? Let me tell you this story. I'm in prison one day, so I'm talking to my car dealer because life is continuing to go on. So I'm talking to my car dealer, and we're talking about getting me some cars when I come home. And he's mad at a couple of my friends. He possessed their cars because they haven't finished paying him. And he said, if they don't finish giving me my money, I'm going to sell their cars and buy some pets, like some horses and, some lions or tigers. I said, what? They have lions and tigers? You could buy those? He said, yeah, I know a friend that has cubs. Cubs, I got horses, llamas. What do you want, Mike? I said, man, I would love to have some cubs. He said, don't worry about it. So I guess he called the guy, and when I came home, there was 2 cubs in my house.
Wow.
Until these
That's so
guys
awesome.
came and stole one.
Huh?
Back
they
after
didn't
the bachelor party.
Hangover.
They didn't steal it. That was cool, though. Hey, what's this stuff right there?
Dude, this is it right here.
Oh, right.
Absolutely.
Where
you
should we
click
start?
Click
Yeah.
on men's
Oh,
swimwear.
the men's? Okay.
Man, that was pretty hot right here. Check it out. These
are
really
dope, dude.
Dope looking, sexy.
It's called the Loudmouth
bikinis.
Patriot, Flamingos, Baywatch, BAE. And then we just launched our women's line as well and kind of took the same fun patterns. We got Starry Night, Gum Van Gogh,
What's
the
that
I love
peacock.
those.
Peacock.
The peacock eye right there, huh?
That's
Oh,
dope.
yeah. If you got a peacock, do it like a patriot. And if you click on the women's swimwear,
Women's. I mean, it's awesome, guys. And little did you know, this was like the preferred Navy SEAL uniform in the old days.
yeah, it didn't even like click till I think maybe a year
The
in.
girls really look nice in their bikinis and stuff.
Yeah, it's my girlfriend Bianca.
Hey, man, that's awesome, dude. That's your girlfriend doing this stuff.
Yeah,
Way to go, Jeff.
She's amazing. We just got back from a trip in Cabo and got like tons of amazing
Fuck it.
shots and everything down there. We got the
Awesome.
Patriot shades
Those are
where
dope.
we have polarized and floating bamboo sunglasses with the stars and stripes
You
laser
know what I
engraved on the
noticed too? The
side.
guys that do that, they had the most dangerous jobs, get the prettiest girls. You notice that? They do dangerous shit.
It's evolution.
Yeah.
Chicks like that. They
You
like
gotta go. Whoever's gonna go out and confront malevolence, though,
I mean, what
takes courage.
One of the biggest reasons I became a SEAL is that I could always protect my friends and family and just anyone around me. That if, you grow up, you watch all these different movies and bad people are always doing stuff, I want to make sure I can always stop that person. And I was never going to allow myself or people I care about to be the victim. Maybe that's something that happened because my father passed away young, but
How he passed away?
he was killed in a car accident.
Fuck, sorry to hear that, bro.
He was a dairy farmer and was out picking up some equipment, and a tractor trailer basically came across the highway, and there wasn't much of a median, and just hit him head on in the door, and he's never had a chance.
Fuck.
How old were you?
I was 8 years old.
Tell me what, you remember that day?
Absolutely. I was with my mom in the kitchen, and my grandma came in, and she was just like, Jeffrey was killed, and then like everything changed.
Finance change?
Yeah. I mean, we had a farm. Like within probably a month or so, all the cows were auctioned off, all the farm equipment was auctioned off. Luckily, my mom ended up meeting an amazing man, Denny, and he ended up, they got married a couple years later, and he raised me, and he was an incredible father. But he was like a top engineer, but from playing college football, he had head injuries and got early onset Alzheimer's around 52 years old, and then passed away by 62. But he was an incredible father, and raised me.
Yeah, brothers and sisters.
Yeah, my sister Julie, she's a dentist, Dr. Gum, owns Gum Dental, and gumdental.com. But she's
What state here?
Pennsylvania, in like Lehigh Valley, Poconos. Actually, Larry Holmes had a gym right where I lived. Exactly, yeah. We're like 10 minutes from Easton.
Mike knows all the gyms.
Eastern Pennsylvania.
And I had a brother, Chris, he was like my best friend growing up, and we played every sport together. He was the most incredible athlete, but
You tell me he passed away. He got sick.
When he was like the most talented of all of us. He was gifted. He was star soccer player, broke every like record for goals and assists, and was prom king, everything. But he battled with addiction and like overdosed like numerous times until it was my mom found him just alone on the floor. It was terrible. I know she's been through so much. I think it was just a couple years after that where my stepfather passed away as well. So she's been so strong through everything.
Where's your mom live?
Lehigh Valley as well.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You get back to see her?
Yeah, usually I'd say 3 or 4 times a year to Pennsylvania, but then they're coming out for Easter to see me and for a week, and then my sister has a dental convention in San Diego, and then we just did a ski trip to Colorado. Her and my dad actually met as ski instructors right in the Poconos. My dad saw her and skied up to her and goes, "You want to be my partner?" And they were, I mean, I had amazing, like I said, I've had amazing life, but like, life's all ups and downs, and you don't want the victim mindset. You want to be thankful for the time you had with them, and then keep making them proud, and keep, going out and finding new brothers. And
it's awesome, man.
But I just have to, when he passed away, I was like, I just have to live a good enough life for me and him now.
That's some powerful shit, Jeff.
Yeah.
Which then to meet, United we stand.
Standing United.
We're standing united.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just learned about that today. I don't even know what are they doing.
These guys have great support for guys for mental illnesses and homelessness.
Yeah.
You know,
addiction.
And addiction.
Getting them resources.
Getting them back on their feet
Yeah,
so they can live a normal life in a
feet.
normal society. You know.
Yeah.
Let them know they have an outlet. They have people they can cry with. They have people that can support them. They have people that won't give up on them ever, never, ever give up on them.
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing some awesome work. Man, this has been like one of our fucking best episodes yet. It's been a real pleasure to have you guys, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Mike, you have any more questions?
I mean, just awesome. And I thought, you start thinking about your life when you hear real life on life terms and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the best moments of my life. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's very surreal and amazing experience, and like I recently went through a transition coming out of the teams, and I know you guys have both been through that, from going from being the youngest champion and transitioning out, and now having this incredible business, and you coming from the NFL and becoming a speaker and being a part of all these incredible things going on here, and it just like so many people they a lot of times they do one thing and they're afraid of that transition, but people can constantly be recreating themselves, and sometimes they think like their best years are behind them, but it's so important you never have your memories be bigger than your dreams, and you can use that incredible life you already had to be the foundation of what's next.
That's basically what we're starting to do and working on doing, isn't it? Pretty much, yeah.
That's it, man.
Yeah, you're recreating
it's
it,
our
man.
second act, so to speak, right?
Yes.
Second act is
Love that.
Yes, it is.
it's going to be really interesting to see.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, just
You guys want to hear one last crazy story?
Go for it.
Yes.
All right, so this is how we met. So I was almost engaged to a girl, and my grandmother was dying of a brain tumor, and I was going to lose her. And she was everything to me. So I tried to rush this proposal. I tried to rush this engagement. And so I had planned a proposal for Valentine's of 2014 or something like that. Anyway, when I went to go and check in for the flights, for her and I's flights from San Diego to DC, the tickets were gone. And I called Delta, and I was on the phone with them for 2 hours. And then they said, all right, we can rebook you tomorrow, but there's storms on the East Coast, so you can't come today, so it's going to cut a day off the trip. And then I stayed, didn't propose, knew that it wasn't right, ended up dating a girl around the corner for a while, fell in love with her, who he ran over her friend's Achilles tendon.
Oh, no.
But I didn't meet her yet at that time. I hadn't met Rachel, and so then we ended up breaking up. So I broke up with the girl Lauren that I was with at the time, that I was almost engaged to, and then the night that we broke up, she left, I went to the back porch and I cried because I was thinking like, oh man, I left Georgia, came to San Diego, and I'm breaking up with this girl who I was in love with, and I cried and thinking I don't have my own friends, and so I want to create my community of friends. And so then that next night I met Jeff.
Went out to Shore Club, and I was there with a bunch of my SEAL team buddies, and I'd seen Kyle's story maybe 14 years earlier 14 years from now, but maybe 9-10 years earlier, and just thought it was so amazing, so powerful. It became one of my heroes. It was Kyle and Pat Tillman were my heroes, and there's also I used to think about him when I was training jiu-jitsu, getting ready, even getting ready for deployment and stuff, I'm like, you know what? If I get blown up overseas, I'm just gonna be really strong for my weight class, the way Kyle is. And then all of a sudden,
cosmic, dude.
all of a sudden, I'm out at Shore Club and I see Kyle Maynard. Like going, I'm like, Kyle Maynard, what's up, man? He's like, oh, hey. And then we started talking and became like, it was like almost, I think we talked like 3 hours that night or something. Like his other friends were there with him.
What did you talk about?
He had just worked out.
It was Navy SEAL stuff, man, because I wanted to be a SEAL so bad.
He wanted to be Kyle Maynard.
I had no idea that it was jiu-jitsu. I mean, there was all kinds of connections, you know? It was like I ended up bringing him to my work a bunch, and I was training all the all the guys going through SEAL training how to fight and do combatives and prisoner handling, and I'd bring them in and show them Kyle, because I want these guys to know, like, if anything ever happens to you overseas, you can still live an incredible, amazing life. And so Kyle would come in, and I'd pick out the biggest guy in the class and have Kyle grapple with him. So I got a video on my phone of the 6'8", like 260-pound guy, and him and Kyle. He's his size.
Yeah, him and Kyle have.
Have you done any jiu-jitsu?
I've done grappling.
Yeah.
I haven't done,
We should have a fight to the death.
I'd love to. Let's do it.
That'd be the greatest way to close this podcast out.
Dude, but I mean, if anybody's going to try and tell me that your guys' meeting was a coincidence, go fuck yourself, dude.
Yeah.
This is fucking spirit at work right here, you know?
Oh, man.
Over a woman.
It's cosmic, man. Like, you had just had this intention of forming your new group of brothers, and Jeff is like, I just want to meet Kyle Maynard because he's such a massive inspiration to me. I mean, dude, that's just, I got nothing else.
You want to hear
say.
the final coincidence with this weirdest with that?
Yeah.
Here we go.
What you do, man?
The night that his dad passed, he had told his mom. His mom has become like she's become like a second mom to me. I have a couple moms that are like really close to me. Anyway, so, but she had given his mom, or his dad had given his mom instructions on to go get the Terminator movie, and the weird connection with that is like that's what my dad named me after. Kyle Reese, like the original protagonist of the Terminator, to go and go back in time and warn people about the relationship with technology, and I
love that,
who and what they're doing, and it's, for me, my whole life I would be nothing without tools. But neither would you, right? Like, it's tools that have allowed us to go and build all this stuff. And maybe because for me, when I had to go and put my socks on for the first time, it took me 45 minutes, and I used a paper clip in my mouth to shape a fishing hook to go and pull the sock on. And that was how I got my sock on. But now it takes 5 seconds. So I think, though, that part of the deal with that, though, is right now we've got to decide as a species what tools we're going to go and use in the future. Do we go down that road of artificial general intelligence, which could be dangerous or it could be awesome, like Elon Musk says?
That could be awesome, I think.
Maybe it splits. I see a divergence happening. I see one group going towards the technology and one group going back to the earth, back to nature. I think that's what I see.
Speaking of Elon Musk and Joe Rogan, me and him did mushrooms the night of that podcast. Listening to Elon and Joe Rogan.
Man, he's a trip.
Elon is my biggest hero right now.
Really?
Yeah, I would say.
I really like what he's doing, man.
Well, actually, you guys I like even more.
Thank you.
Elon's a good guy.
I'm at your disposal. I just quit my job this morning, so if you guys want to go and just tell me what to do, you don't have to pay me. Just tell me what to do to help, and I'll help you in any way that I can.
Fuck yeah, Kyle. I mean,
just come talk to us.
Come on, man. Yeah. Let's go to the prisons and talk to the people in the prisons.
Mike has wanted to do that. We're going to do that.
We're doing it.
Yeah, you could definitely come tag along.
I would be honored, man. I want people, I've been giving a lot of speeches for banks and all that, and I believe in our financial system. I believe in our banking system. I believe in the strength of our economy. That's not the point at all, but I've only given it like halfway. Like what I want to do now, is go and help heal people like Dr. Sebi did, heal people. I mean, like Nipsey Hussle's sacrifice for what just happened with that, But I want to go to the scariest, darkest places, and also spend the rest of half of my life in bliss and in heaven and with people that I love.
The scariest and darkest places is in the indigenous islands, indigenous jungles.
Man, those I want to go to.
Those where you want to see the darkest people.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think
even
it's
more
beautiful.
than the prisons?
Yeah, I think so.
The island off of India where no one's allowed to go because there's this tribe of people that have been untouched.
They launch spears at everybody that comes close.
Well, like some dude tried to bring Christianity.
He brought the Bible and he lit him up with the arrows.
Yeah, they killed his ass.
With arrows and stuff and blow darts.
Yeah.
Because he didn't understand Jesus' message.
Yeah, the government doesn't allow people to go to this island because they know they'll be killed by these people. And this dude was documenting for months that he was going to come bring Christianity to these people and enlighten them. And he got there and he was killed.
Well, because he was trying to take something there and take away what they had.
Exactly.
I think we got to encourage people to go and form their own belief structure, form your own hierarchy.
Exactly, but then, pay respect to their
traditions that they came from. Pay respect to each other, man. I've learned so much from Islam, but I came from Christianity, and I spent most of my 20s, as an atheist.
Yeah.
But now it's like ultimately, I don't know. But I'm on that search and that seeking for, I'm on, Dr. Sebi, I heard him say, the object at the edge of the horizon. That's what I'm after, that light that's at the edge of the horizon, to go and chase that. And that's what I mean, is that wherever we go, then we help people go and pick that up. Because you can be both at peace and you can be at peace and you can be doing shit at the same time,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We don't have to go and sit under a Bodhi tree or whatever. No,
it's like the Bhagavad Gita. Have you read that?
I'm very familiar with the Upanishads, but
that's basically what it's about.
That's from India, right?
Yeah.
Gita, I remember that book. What's the name of it again?
Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, it's a book. That's like their religious book.
Yeah.
That's their holy book.
And it had real tales of lions and warriors and all that stuff.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
No, like dragons and warriors. Yeah.
But that's essentially what he talks about in there. You can be at peace, but there's also actions that need to be done.
Was that with speaking of, maybe to close it out on a note, but what's the quote from the Bhagavad Gita, the guy that dropped the atomic bomb, where he said, I've become death, destroyer of worlds.
Yeah.
Who was that, Oppenheimer?
Yeah, Oppenheimer. That's what he said when they dropped that. Yeah, and that's from basically the scene when Krishna, who is the one,
spiritual.
He's the divine God, the God of gods. He reveals his true form, and he's everything. He is everything. And he's got thousands of arms and heads and legs and eyes and different skins and all of that, because he is everything. And death, too. It's all encompassed in...
Was that God a woman?
The one. No, a male. The interesting thing about ancient Hindu texts are that they were very derogatory towards women.
Really? That's so?
Yeah.
A lot of the ancient text periods were derogatory towards women.
Well, that obvious. Yes, absolutely.
But they had ancient queen warriors, though.
Yes, they did. And there's a lot of things about the Yoginis. The Yoginis were a tribe of women who were mystics. They talk about these women flying. And they were basically killed off and demonized. And so that sort of began this misogynistic view of women in India.
Mythology also did that. Greek mythology also did that with the Amazons.
Yes.
They were real people.
Yeah.
I told you I saw it on the grave sites of Amazon queens.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I never thought they existed. I thought it was just folktale stuff. Then it was discovered, you know. It blew my mind.
How crazy would it be if we found out?
What?
Like where we came from.
Yeah, who we are. How did this happen?
Yeah, what are we?
Who was the first two people? Who was the first two? How did this start?
How did it start?
Or did it really start from sex? The sex is the only way that we could recreate. Is it really? Maybe something about procreating that we don't know about. Because sex is just too simple. It's just, is it that simple? It's just two idiots can make love and then have children.
Sex is pretty awesome too. Yeah. He's had sex next to me a bunch of times.
Sometimes
or the same person. Well, that's out there.
Well,
yeah, that's cool too.
That's where we can live, and half of it can be that, and the other half it's be a lady in the streets freaking the sheets kind of thing.
Yeah, my life when I was a younger kid there, I had a bunch of fucking orgies all the time. Just a bunch of chicks and guys, and everybody fucking everybody. Imagine if they had cameras back then.
And then
iPhones.
Fucking mayhem, dude.
We live in a very cool time. I think it's the best time ever to be alive right now,
Yes.
Because we can create a life where, maybe we get the robots to go and do the work for us and that we just live in bliss, but maybe that goes the other way. Either way, we're getting the message out there, so, it was an honor to be here with you guys, and I'm dead serious from the bottom of my heart. However I can help you in any way, you don't even have to ask, just give me a glance, I'm there.
Awesome,
Yeah, same
man.
here.
It's a
100%.
trip on
Honored,
our journey,
bro.
and our journey, people that we meet on our journey leaving this place, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're on a journey, just leaving this place.
You just keep finding more allies on your
Awesome.
journey.
And you find
Just to
people
stop
older, and
along
you
the
say,
way,
wow, I wish I
man.
could have met him 20 years ago or 10 years ago. Shit.
Damn, missed out.
That's why we got to be grateful for now.
Mm-hmm.
Man, thank you guys. Fuck, dude. Such an honor to have both of you. Kyle. Jeff, you're the fucking man. Dude, thank you guys so much for your stories and sharing
Jeff
your
love
heart with
Kyle.
us. Everybody,
That's awesome.
thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Hotboxin with my man Mike Tyson. Check us out
And
on
the truth
iTunes
is to be
as well.
told.
The truth shall be told.
Yes.
That's fucking right, Mike. All right,
Toad.
everybody. Until
Toad.
next time, we're out of here.
#1 Toad Station. Peace.
Peace.